Okay, so my name is Jessica Reeder Ayala. I'm a registered nurse. I started out in Iowa with my education at the Iowa Valley Community College of Nursing. I started out as a surgical technician, and I did that for a while, and I was handing the instruments to the surgeons, and then I was watching the RN sitting and charting. So I'm like, I want to do her job. So I went back to school. I got my LPN because that was a requirement to go on to your RN. So I did that, got my associates in applied science, and started working in a hospital in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And we did med surg and ortho. So I never actually made it back into the OR, so be careful what you say because you might not go back. But then I did travel nursing in California for 4 years, loved it, but I had little children and decided that they needed a better education and a picket fence and a dog, and so we moved to Colorado. And since being in Colorado since 2008, don't quote me, I think 2008. Do you ever do it on your kids?
Yes.
Like how old they are? I'm like, okay, Gavin was 8, so 2008. No. So 2008 we came to Colorado, and I worked at Good Sam for a couple years, did night shift, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting too old for night shift. So then I moved to Denver Health. I did the Poison and Drug Center at 990 Bannock, and I've just done so many things. I think I like to change everything up. I feel like I master something and then I get bored. So that's why I change every few years. So anyway, I did the Poison and Drug Center. Then I did North Suburban. I worked there for a total of 4 years, PRN. And then I also worked at American Family Insurance, where I called it being a nurse investigator. So I would review charts, and it was more behind a desk. Not my favorite thing, but it really was. It was a whole different ball of wax. So we'd help attorneys, is this a legitimate case? Is this not a legitimate case? Or we need more information. And then last but not least, before coming here, I was at Kaiser for 5 years. So I worked family practice, which I was used to, helping with severed limbs and, post-op and cancer and, hospice and all this. So I finally got to learn earaches and sinus infections. So I worked at Kaiser for 5 years. And unfortunately, I got laid off in that huge, they had laid off about 500 people. And of course, I'm a senior nurse, so I'm the first to go. And I thought, you know what? I've worked since I'm 14. I'm going to take a month off. So I took my month off, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to take another month off. This is so crazy. So I've always worked like 2 and 3 jobs. So took my second month off, and then my friend that had also gotten laid off, she said, I'm going to go to some courses for aesthetics. And I said, oh, good, have fun, Wasn't even on my radar. And the night before, I called her and I said, hey, do you think they have any openings? She's like, seriously? The night before? I'm like, well, yeah, that's how I roll. And so signed up for the class, and I love it. It was meant to be.
So how did you end up here?
So I, with the help of Alyssa, the nurse friend, she found us a medical director, because obviously nurses can't practice, medicine. We have to work under an MD or a DO. And she found our medical director, Dr. Milan, Dr. Milan. I always say it wrong. Dr. Milan. And she is phenomenal. She is so well educated and so personable. She's like the best of everything rolled in one. So she started out in emergency medicine. She went to general surgery, aesthetics, and functional medicine. And so she does a little bit of all of it still. So she really keeps all of her skills honed in. So she found Dr. Mylan for us, and that's about all she wrote. I found a little office in Longmont and started practicing under, of course, Dr. Mylan's direction, and it's just grown from there. Now it's been almost 3.5 years.